And the winner of Mrs. World is Mrs. India.
21 साल बाद इंडिया ने एक मुकाम हासिल किया है। वो क्या है? अगर आप लोग खबर पढ़ते हैं, अखबार पढ़ते हैं और आज की ट्रेंडिंग स्टोरीज भी देख रहे होंगे तो आपको पता चल गया होगा कि इंडिया ने फाइनली आफ्टर 21 years हैज क्लेम्ड द टाइटल ऑफ मिसेस वर्ल्ड 2022। एंड हमारे साथ कॉन्वर्सेशन में कौन है यार? अभी इतने सारे हिंट्स दे दिए तो आप समझ ही गए ना। हमारे साथ कॉन्वर्सेशन में है द लेडी हरसेल्फ, द लेडी ऑफ द आवर, मिसेस वर्ल्ड 2022, मिसेस सरगम कौशल। तो वेलकम सरगम।
Oh, thank you very much.
पहले थोड़ा चीयर कर दो ना।
Stop calling me a lady. I'm not a lady, by the way.
Okay.
वो आपको पता चल जाएगा in after this conversation. I'm not very ladylike. So,
okay. Yeah. All right. तो क्या चल रहा है अभी right now? इसी मोमेंट पे दिमाग में क्या थॉट चल रहा है?
Honestly बताऊं तो मुझे बहुत ही भूख लगी हुई है because I've been eating American food since God knows when, like 2 weeks, and I just had dal makhani right now, and I'm going to hog on to some more because I'm ऐसा लग रहा है वो एक ब्लैक होल सा बन गया पेट के अंदर के खाते ही रहो, इंडियन फूड खाते ही रहो, बहुत भूख लगी है। बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, जोक्स असाइड, आई एम फीलिंग वेरी, it's like a feeling of I'm being very honest about it. I'm very thankful that the whole country gave me so much of love, so much appreciation, rooted for me from God knows when, and yeah, it's a never ending feeling of gratitude and thankfulness.
जब मिसेस वर्ल्ड कॉन्टेस्ट के लिए आप प्रिपेयर करते हो तो कहाँ से प्रेपरेशन शुरू होती है? वो पॉइंट जीरो क्या होता है?
I think Bacha, it just happens that one day you decide that you want to do something different from the regular life that you're leading already. And that can be anything. Mrs. World is not just एक pageant है तो इसीलिए नहीं बोलूंगी कि कुछ अलग से preparation करनी. Of course, एक pageant के लिए there are certain things that you have to do. But to start something which is so different from whatever you've been doing. I've been a teacher almost all my life now, and then switching from that to something which is so different, it takes first of all a lot of courage to leave behind a life that you have built, starting from zero again. Maybe keeping all your savings one side and then thinking अब ये savings use करनी है मुझे इस काम के लिए, all of that. So it requires a lot of courage. उसके बाद it requires persistence, that there are going to be times during the course of this journey when you say नहीं होगा, इससे ज़्यादा नहीं होगा मुझसे. You've been putting in hard work, you put in your hours, sleepless nights, all of that, and then there are times when you break down and think my family needs me more, and what am I doing here? Just living my dream, being so selfish. That kind of requires persistently reminding yourself that I am doing it not just for myself, but for a greater good. That greater good can be for empowering other women around you. That greater good can be making your parents proud. That greater good can be becoming a better version of yourself.
Right.
And so these are the two things according to me which are very important.
तो अगर मुझे पूछना हो कि सरगम की जर्नी शुरू होती है यहाँ से, तो कहाँ से?
मैं 4 साल की थी तब से.
Oh.
Yes. So it was my dad who had this vision of me being a pageant queen. I don't know why that happened.
Interesting.
So maybe it was because he saw Sushmita Sen win the crown to Miss Universe, and he thought, this girl is as regular as any other girl in our family, and my daughter, tomorrow when she grows up, she'll be growing up in the similar household that Sushmita grew up in. Of course, I think we belong to a very similar background. तो उनको लगा कि अगर वो कर सकती है तो मेरी बेटी भी कर सकती है. She had parents who supported her. My daughter has me, my wife who can support her, and then there should be nothing else which can stop her. So this was one dream that he saw, and he kind of on and off every year now and then he kept on pushing that button saying भर लो, Miss India का form भर लो. पोर्टफोलियो जाना है मैं करवा देता हूँ, दिल्ली जाना है, मुंबई जाना है, टेल मी. आई वाज लाइक नो डैड, मुझसे नहीं होगा. यू नो हु विल go there in front of so many people, question answer round, the dreaded question answer round, they'll ask me what I don't know, you know. Then swimsuit, who will wear a swimsuit, who will wear a bikini in front of the whole world? And my dad was like, it's fine, we can deal with it, we'll deal with it when that comes. And so it was my underconfidence that kind of stopped me from doing this. But then I think, you know, when you get married, you experience a lot of things in life. You become that person who you weren't earlier, right? And then again, my father, came in again and said, "Now is the time right for you." I said, "Okay, let's give it a try." So that's how it happened.
आपसे इंडिया की नहीं, वर्ल्ड की बहुत सारी महिलाएं इंस्पिरेशन ड्रॉ करेंगी, राइट? क्योंकि हमारे इंडिया में सैडली अभी भी ये स्टीरियोटाइप है कि शादी हो गई, एंड ये लड़कियों के साथ नहीं, लड़के भी ये कहीं ना कहीं बैक ऑफ द माइंड चलता है कि यार शादी हो जाती है ना तो बहुत सारी चीजें होती है जो हम नहीं कर सकते, एंड कहीं ना कहीं दिमाग में ये भी चलता है यार ब्यूटी पैजेंट, ट्रूथ बी टोल्ड, जो करेज
Yep.
आप करेज चाहिए होता है। एंड मैं इसलिए नहीं कह रहा कि इट्स बिकॉज इट्स एन इंटरनेशनल लेवल कंपटीशन, इट्स बिकॉज कुछ भी हम अगर लीग से हटकर करने की कोशिश करते हैं तो हमें एक थोड़े करेज की जरूरत होती है। तो आपका क्या सीन था, मतलब जब आपकी शादी हो गई तो तब आपके दिमाग में ये चल रहा था कि अब ठीक है मिस वर्ल्ड तो नहीं बट मिसेस वर्ल्ड की ओर बढ़ना है, एंड हाउ पिवटल वाज योर हस्बैंड्स रोल थ्रू आउट दिस होल जर्नी?
You're very right, Bacha, when you say that it's very difficult after marriage to, you know, even today when yesterday I came home and I looked at my house, it was a mess. It was a mess without me. You know, even when I have a house help, my husband was home, everything. I live, I won't say a very privileged life, but I live a decent life where I have people around me to help me out. Still, I feel that without me, my house is in shreds, right? Maybe that's a responsibility that I have, given myself. And that's the problem with women all over the world. They think सारी दुनिया का बोझ उन्हीं के कमजोर या strong shoulders पे है, which is a very wrong way to take your life. You are not indispensable. There are people who can work. I mean, your husband is equally responsible for your house, your kids, your in-laws. All of those people who live in that house are equally responsible for that house. And along with that, you are equally responsible for your own for your own happiness and for your own well-being. And that, truth be told, you need to understand that from the very beginning, from your childhood maybe, or if women are inspiring you, get inspired. See these women around you who are leading a life with example, who are showing you that apna care karna is not being selfish. So I feel that I grew up after marriage understanding that my husband and I play an equal role in this household. I do have times when I think कि मेरी responsibility ज़्यादा है, but then I keep myself back thinking he can also do it. And it's not I'm not being selfish here, or I'm not being a strict wife or that kind of person, but I want him, or I want my partner to understand his roles and responsibilities in this marriage. And every woman should, I won't say get inspired from me, but understand that marriage is not a relationship of codependency. It is a symbiotic relationship in which both the individuals need to realize their responsibilities and to have equal share of happiness.
So true.
So my husband's role here, I would say my husband's role here has been, of course, it's been pivotal because he has been that backbone. He has been that wind beneath my wings. So he has been that. He has given me that, I won't say freedom because freedom is not for someone else to give me, but he has given me that push that you can do whatever you want to do. Forget about everything else. Everything will fall into place itself. You be you. That's what I'm saying.
तो अभी आजकल के क्या कहते हैं सोशल मीडिया की लैंग्वेज में बोले तो डू यू वांट टू गिव अ शाउट आउट टू योर हस्बैंड?
Oh, I keep giving shout out to my husband and my dad because I think so. There was this little contest that happened before Mrs. World, during Mrs. World, where उन्होंने हमसे पूछा था कि what is your why? why Mrs. World? So my whys are two: my husband and my father, because they brought that fire in me to be a part of this contest. And so I keep giving shout outs to them, because I keep on saying that behind every successful woman is a progressive man. And these are the two progressive men in my life.
Ooh, तो शाउट आउट टू दीज टू अमेजिंग मैन. मुझे ये बताइए कि जब पहला कॉन्वर्सेशन आपने बताया कि पापा ने तो 4 साल की उम्र से ही उन्होंने अपना एक गोल बना लिया था. दैट इज एन इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी. एंड हस्बैंड के साथ जब आपका पहला कॉन्वर्सेशन हुआ था इस चीज को लेके, तो कहाँ पे हुआ था?
About being a part of this contest.
Yes. So what was his reaction, and how did you initiate the conversation?
It was not. So the truth is that it wasn't a conversation that I had with my husband. It was a conversation my father had with my husband.
Interesting.
So it was very funny. Yes. So it was a very funny conversation. I wasn't a part of it. I wasn't even there. So he had gone. My husband had gone to Jammu to meet his family. I was here. Diwali. I think 2 years ago it was. I think Diwali or something. So he'd gone home, and my father and him, they are sitting, and my father says, what have you thought about the future now? And he's like, what future? He said, bacche karo, kuch ab karo, badhao family aage. And he said, wo to, she's to not interested at all about, I mean, she's not into that mode yet. तो फिर क्या करना है उसने? Because I was teaching and I had left my job because we had moved to Mumbai and I was not working at that time, and I wasn't even thinking of participating in Mrs. India that time. So that was a time when I was totally free, doing nothing. My dad couldn't swallow that. He was like, why is she not working? Why is she not doing anything? कुछ नहीं करना तो बच्चे कर लो. तो he said, नहीं वो तो नहीं करना है. तो ठीक है, फिर उसको बोलो मिसेस इंडिया का फॉर्म भरे और जल्दी से पार्टिसिपेट करे. वेट किस चीज का कर रही है वो? So for him it was like, अच्छा बच्चे नहीं करने तो do this, ये नहीं करना तो. So his thinking was very clear. In his mind he was very clear that either she becomes the most famous person in this world at one point, or she becomes a mother. So ये conversation थी उनकी. And then yeah, of course from there things just.
तो husband का reaction क्या था? ये तो आपने बताया.
Husband was he just came home and said, do you want to do it? I said, okay, let's give it a shot. And yeah, I think next day he opened the computer, told me to fill up the form, and we did it together, and he was very, very happy about it. He was very confident also that I will make it. So it wasn't a very hard hitting conversation that we had. It was something very casual for him. Maybe he just thought that she can do it, so why even bother?
Okay. अच्छा, आप टीचर भी थे, है ना? तो अभी आप मिसेस वर्ल्ड 2022 का खिताब आपने जीता है, तो अब टीचिंग का क्या प्लान है? आगे पढ़ाना है, कैसे पढ़ाना है, क्या करना है?
मैं यही सोचती रहती हूँ.
मैं अगर स्टूडेंट होता मैं तो जरूर बोलता कि मुझे मिसेस वर्ल्ड से पढ़ना है, मुझे प्लीज. मैं तो फ्लेक्स करता. तुझे पता है मेरी टीचर कौन है? मिसेस वर्ल्ड 2022.
So nice, you know, my students have been so beautifully kind. They are like, मैम आपको पता भी है आपने क्या कर दिया है? हम तो सारी दुनिया में बताते फिरते कि हमारी मैम मिसेस वर्ल्ड थी. मिसेस वर्ल्ड है, वो हमारी मैम थी, वो हमें स्कूल में पढ़ाती थी. And yes, of course that's a flex for my students as well. And but you know, teaching is something that I can always go back to, because that's something that I've earned, that's something I have learned. And I do not have any hesitation कि मिसेस वर्ल्ड बनने के बाद भी अगर मुझे स्कूल में पढ़ाना पड़े, लेक्चर्स देने पड़े, I don't mind, because that's something I love doing. That has a lot to do with the fact that teaching was the first job that I did, and it has given me all the confidence that I did not have when I was a young teen or a young adult. So teaching brought me where I am today, the confidence that I have now. So anytime I would love to go back to it anytime.
आप पढ़ाते कौन से सब्जेक्ट थे?
So I was an English literature teacher. I used to teach middle school and high school. Nice.
Nice. English मैम आपने तो मचा दिया एकदम. सरगम, मुझे एक और थोड़ा सा सीरियस नोट पे क्वेश्चन, लेकिन उसका थोड़े फन क्वेश्चंस भी मैंने प्रिपेयर किए हैं. तो See, now you have become Mrs. World 2022. The whole globe, the whole world recognizes you, appreciates you, and wants to listen to you. So in a way, you have earned a position of power. And हमें पता है कि with power comes great responsibilities too. So now here at this moment in time, what are those stereotypes? वो कौन से stereotypes हैं around maybe women or in general in the world जो आपको लगता है कि आप break करना चाहोगे या आपने break कर दिए हैं?
So much of first stereotype, so I just told you that women have this uh, thinking, this thinking that they have उन्हीं के कंधों पर सारी responsibility है. So this stereotype of women being the bread and butter of the household, that needs to break. People need to understand that women are not just wives or mothers or sisters. They are first a woman. They have a heart, a soul, a mind of their own. And just because that they have got married, वो feelings, वो ख्वाहिशें खत्म नहीं हो जाती. Just because कि वो आपको बताती नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है कि हर रात वो अपने आप को शीशे में देख के ये नहीं सोचती होगी कि I could have done something different with my life. And being a housewife is not a bad thing. It's a full-time job. But again, there are women who choose to live a life like that, and then there are who are forced to live a life like that. And that stereotype needs to break. People need to understand that she has a heart, a soul of her own. The other one I think is that जहाँ husbands को लेके एक stereotype बना रहता है ना कि शादी होगी इसका पति इसको करने नहीं देगा. There are many husbands out there who don't even think like that, who are like मेरे कहने ना कहने का कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, because she has a mind of her own. She'll do what she has to do, just like I do what I have to do. Right. You know, so these two are the major stereotypes I need to see breaking very soon.
And we wish you the best for that. अब करते हैं थोड़ा मस्ती की बातें. तो ये बताइए कि दुनिया भर से जो है कंटेस्टेंट्स आते हैं, राइट? अभी आप अपनी कंट्री को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हो, वैसे ही कोई और अपने कंट्री को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है, तो वो थोड़ा सा वैसा माहौल रहता है क्या? हम भी हैं जोश में, बातें कर होश में. आई बॉलिंग होती है.
I will tell you, that's the truth that I'm telling you. I have not felt any kind of competition. ये जोश मूवी वाला वैसा competition I have not felt. ना ही during my Mrs. India pageant, ना ही during Mrs. World. It was so sisterly. मुझे ऐसा लग रहा था कि हम किसी स्लम्बर पार्टी पे आए हैं, या ये कोई संगीत फेस्टिवल चल रहा है, संगीत पार्टी चल रही है और हम सब मस्त एंजॉय कर रहे हैं, डांस कर रहे हैं. You know, एक कोरियोग्राफर है जो हमें स्टेप सिखा रहा है, and we are dancing on the song Copacabana, and then we are wearing the greatest clothes and having the best food and wine, and it was like 2 weeks of just partying in Vegas. Can you imagine how fun that can be? Though we were not allowed to go out of the hotel a lot of times, but that hotel resort in itself, Westgate, if you see, oh my God, it's a city in its own, in itself. And we had so much fun. कभी मुझे ऐसा feel ही नहीं हुआ कि मैं यहाँ पे competition लड़ने के लिए आई हूँ, क्योंकि जब भी हम लोग जैसे, you know, today I'm dressed up and I wear something really good and go to the rehearsal hall. Girls are like, wow, you're looking so beautiful. And it's not just one way, it's both ways. They'll click pictures with you. I have a reel on my Instagram. If you see, we are dancing on some 90s Bollywood song, and they all wanted to be a part of it. You know, so that's how it was. And I think Mrs. Pageants have this edge over Miss Pageants, because now since all the women are married, experienced, with kids, have had a life, right? They're not girls anymore, they are women. And so with that experience, they are very responsible and very well-rounded personalities. And इसलिए मुझे वो क्या बोलेंगे वो, I don't want to use the word, but that kind of negative vibe I didn't see around in those women. So I had fun. We all had fun. I made great friends over there. I just got a call from one of my sister queens, Mrs. Norway. Her name is Valeria. And she asked me, have you reached home? You didn't text me. and it's Christmas for her probably today, and so she just was wishing me all the best, and yeah, so that's how it is.
And Christmas से याद आया, thanks to you and your achievement, India में तो Christmas has come early. So thank you so much for that.
Like Secret Santa, not secret anymore though.
And we are very happy about that. तो मिसेस नॉर्वे के अलावा भी और फ्रेंड्स बने वहां पे?
Yes, we had Nepal, we had Slovakia, we had Russia, we had America, we had so many different countries जिनके नाम तक नहीं सुने थे, you know. There was Ghana, there was Canada. Canada was one of the top 3. So it was a cultural fiesta, I would say.
सही है. अभी तो अक्रॉस द ग्लोब आपके फ्रेंड्स बन गए हैं, तो अब तो ये पार्टी रुकने नहीं वाली.
Yeah, I'm pretty international now.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
There are some of my friends out there जिन्होंने मुझे कहा कि actually हमारा ये प्लान था कि जो भी जीतेगा हम उसकी कंट्री में जाके we'll have a good party, like a weekend or something.
Oh, nice.
So now it's on my shoulders. So they wanted to come here to the winery we have here at Sula, Nasik. So they said, let's just find a date and come all together once again, like an alumni meet.
Alumni, spoken like a true teacher. Alumni meet. That is so amazing. तो जीतने के बाद से ये बताइए, congratulatory messages के तो लाइन लग गई होगी, but if you had to handpick few, वो कौन से थे?
Oh, so one of them was from one of my sister queens from Mrs. India, and she's been very close because she was not my roommate, she was my neighbor, like in the hotel that we were staying, wo next door rehti thi, and she was the person that I met just after winning. She was the only person that I met. So she texted me a few days ago, said, Sargam, you stayed the same. That's what matters the most. You have not changed even an ounce, and you don't know तुमने कितनी लड़कियों को empower किया है. वो सब लड़कियां जो ये सोचती थी कि हम क्या कुछ डिफरेंट कर सकती हैं अपनी लाइफ में, उनको वो मोटिवेशन दी है तुमने वो करने की. And this was one message from her. Then there was a message from my dad. If I have it right now, I'll just share it with you. It was very, very different from I was extremely confident. तुमने कर दिखाया. You made us all proud. अब इस life में और कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए मुझे. That's what my dad wrote. So he always wanted that, you know, people know him by my name. And so he said कि इस life में अब मुझे और कुछ नहीं चाहिए. So it's just such a proud feeling that a daughter made her dad so proud that now he doesn't want anything else, because that's like the biggest achievement that he has had through me. So these are two very good messages. And then there are so many, Bacha, I cannot even tell you. मैं रोज अपना फोन खोलती हूँ सुबह या रात को, and then I see some message pop up and it just makes me cry, and I literally cry because I think that have I done something so big, or have I inspired so many people around that मेरी एक victory जो कि कितनी personal हो सकती है. This can be a very, if you think about it, it is a very personal victory. I'm making, I'm popular. I have a great following on Instagram now. People know me. I'm in the news. I have a Wikipedia page, etc. I have fan pages and fake pages on Instagram. It's a very personal victory अगर सोचा जाए तो, but no, it is not. This victory, I say that every stone in this crown belongs to every single person who has held my hand, or maybe physically or just emotionally or spiritually throughout this journey. So yeah, every message is equally important.
That's so nice. That's so nice. You know, I wanted to know this only कि that moment जब वो ताज आपके सर पे रखा जाता है, हमें तो विजुअल्स में दिख रहा होता है कि contestant is like, you know, praying, or you know, वो moment, can you take us through that moment?
Yeah.
I'm sure you must have relived that moment time and again in your head, and it's going to stay with you forever till eternity. Can you take us through that?
Yeah, it has been shared so many times अभी तक internet पे कि वो that moment where I'm just holding my hands like this and my eyes are closed and Shailin is putting that crown on my head, I could relive the last 2 years, like जैसे एक high speed moment होता है ना, time lapse की तरह, तो वो time lapse चल रहा था मेरे दिमाग में वो 2 साल का, starting from the day I resigned from my job to the days where I woke up feeling like a complete failure because I was thinking, I'm just waking up every morning doing the same routine, not even working. I'm a stay-at-home wife, watching TV all day. What am I doing? Just thinking कि हाँ कल कर लेंगे. Procrastinating every day. Speed through that phase and coming back to the time when I filled the form for Mrs. India, और वो पूरा ट्रेनिंग का पीरियड, वो जो 5-6 महीने हमने जी जान से ट्रेन किया. Every single day when I used to break down, every single day when I used to have a great day because आज shoot अच्छा हो गया, या आज my mentors thought that I was really good today. All those days, and then coming to Vegas, all of those struggles, packing bags, having countless fights with my husband about little things because I was not in that mental state to be very normal. And all those days when I felt that I should give up, I should just go back teaching again because this may not be my calling. What if I don't win? तो वो सब चल रहा था दिमाग में बादशाह, and I could actually live all of that in those few seconds. And then that weight of that crown just came on my head when Shailen made me wear it, and I saw people from every part of the world sitting in front of me in the audience and cheering India. And then फिर वो personal feeling होती है ना कि मेरी जीत है, वो सब हट गया, वो सब, it just vanished, and I became India. I just became my country, and I was like, I'm a soldier today. I'm मेरा husband जाता होगा सरहद पे लड़ने के लिए, but I am a true soldier today. I did something for my country. I made my country proud. So in that moment, I was my country, not me.
And at that very moment, the whole country rejoiced with you, and it continues to. So I just want to say, as an Indian, as a commoner, we are very, very proud of you.
Thank you so much. I'm very proud that I was born in this country and I got to do something for it, however big or small, but this is my contribution to my country.
So I quickly want to know one last thing. अब क्या plan है next? Film industry, ad industry, कौन सी industry, क्या करने का plan है?
I am open to anything. I'm a very creative person. तो कुछ भी ले आओ, let's hope I can do it. Right now, I just want to rejoice with my family, with my friends, and hope that future brings something better.